Listen, ladies and gentlemen, man, welcome to the Grown Ass Men Show.
Grown Ass Men in the building.
I really do apologise. We've had bare technical difficulties. It's a new station. It's, you know, it's a teething process. It is what it is.
That's the teething.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Teething, them words there. But I want to delve straight into it. Yeah, for anyone who don't know, let's kind of introduce ourselves, what we're about, and then we can dive straight into it. Make sure you catch us on Instagram. Make sure you catch us on Facebook. I've just checked Facebook. I'm looking very crispy. I don't know about Dwayne now, joking. But I don't know about Dwayne. I'm looking crispy right now.
I always look crispy, fam.
Yeah, bro. Alright, he's got blue dreads. When the man says he's looking crispy, he's got blue dreads. Who am I to argue?
No hair.
But now we got a few topics that we need to run through. So let's introduce first. Shout out to the DJ. Let me try and just bend this a little bit.
Alongside the DJ in the building.
DJ. Now, member of Grown Ass Men. Briggs, what you saying?
There were no longer any DJs in this. Yo, what's going on, people? Rakes here. What's good?
What you saying, Mr. D?
Yeah, thank you for introducing me. I'm Mr. D. Also known as Darren,
Normally the man with the cap, but he ain't got that on today. He's got the...
I don't go with suits, boy.
He's got that cool outfit on today, you know what I'm saying?
Listen,
the bus case ones.
2020 is a new one.
What you saying? Hey, blue dress, well done.
Right, bro. Yeah, it's the way, you know what it is, man. I'm looking forward to the show. Obviously, we've got a few teething problems, but we're ready to go.
Alright, cool. And obviously, you got myself. My name's Craig. I'm like, kind of the host of the show, but I don't really like to call myself that, but you guys can. Alright, listen.
People. No,
that's fine.
I'm cutting you off.
Devil's advocate, whatever you got. Saying.
Listen, we did a show on New Year's Eve, yeah? We did a show on New Year's Eve.
Why are you talking about old stuff, man?
That old stuff, 2 weeks ago.
It's a new year, man. Louder.
That was last year.
It was last year, too, you know what I'm saying?
Did you ever see this guy's gung-ho tactics when it came to taking the mic and taking over the show? Other people were kind of scared at how aggressive.
Nah, you know what? Guys, I'm going to be real. I'm going to keep it very real. Sometimes, yeah, you know, like, for guys who play football, girls maybe netball, you know, you kind of got that player that you look for. It's like, when things are kind of like, alright, cool, who's going to get this party started? Who's going to be that person to really kind of carry this? So, I was wearing a number 10 shirt, so I thought, you know what, cool. Let me kind of take this, because these men are a little bit nervous at times. So cool, I'm going to run with the ball. Fair enough, I got to a stage where I got excited, I didn't pass. Yeah, that's just what happened, I didn't pass. But eventually, I kind of found myself, I settled down. And we all got involved, didn't it? And it was a great show.
Was it not? He's feeling himself a bit.
I'm just not,
but yeah.
That's just real.
You'll get to know this is Craig.
I'm just keeping it real. But listen, I want to delve straight into it. The topic that's really got me, and we have to, we're going to kind of come back into this, but first of all, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. Shout out to his family. I'm not a huge basketball fan, but obviously, you know, a legend in the game.
Legend, absolute legend.
I just remember Lakers with him and Shaq just running things, winning their championships. So, and shout out to obviously the other people who died in the helicopter crash, his daughter, and all the other passengers who were involved. So, so we're going to kind of get to that in a minute. But first of all, let's start off with that. I want to talk about Nicki Minaj and her brother. Her brother is a convicted rapist, right? She has come out openly before he got convicted and spoke about her love and support for her brother, her bro, yeah? But my thing is, now your brother is a convicted rapist. So my angle on this is, we all know family members, we all know friends and all the rest of it. What will it take for you to disown somebody? Because my thing is, if you mess with them kids, I don't care if you're my son, my dad, my wife, whatever. You're out of there. You're out of there. And to me, does it take the court conviction to then be that swaying factor?
I don't think you wait to the court thing. I think if there's enough evidence for me to start doubting you, then our relationship is gonna change, and the dynamics of the relationship will change. For me, at the end of the day, if I wholeheartedly do not believe you did it, then yeah, I can try to support you best I can. But if the evidence
is even rocking when they're convicted.
Look, if you're convicted, then the evidence was obviously against you.
so all right, but if the evidence is against you,
then I can't support you. I can't.
But you just said if you're convinced, though.
I can't be convinced if there's evidence against you, bro.
No, but hold on.
Surely you can.
Hold on. Let's be real, because people get convicted and they didn't do the crime. So
listen,
so,
that happened
so,
back in the day. Nowadays, you don't expect that too often.
No, nowadays, you know what?
You don't expect that too often.
Bro, so what? You don't think there's people that get wrongly incarcerated?
Not as frequent as it was back in the day.
Oh, come on! I think you're having a laugh. Oh, what I would say
Bro,
is, what
nowadays that should be happening frequently.
No. Shoulda, coulda, woulda doesn't really cut it. It does happen now.
I'm not saying it doesn't,
It's
but it's
still
not
happening
frequently.
Hold on. I need to read some comments because
I'm not having that.
shout out
It's
to
not
everyone
frequent.
locked in as well. Facebook, shout out to Instagram. Right, so them lot's dad just said, not just rapists, child rapists. Let's get it right. And you know what?
Awesome.
Let's get that right for real because the kiddie fiddler thing. I'm not with any sort of rape. Let me just put that out there. I don't want to separate the two. But when it comes to the kids, like, come on, man, like. That's just not in question. So Delicate has said, hold on 1 second, she's backtracked now. She's talking about Nicki Minaj.
We got a caller.
Hold on, we've got a live caller coming up.
First live caller of the show.
Live caller. Can you hear us? How
Right,
you
you're
doing?
free to grow now, Ben. Can you hear us? Hello, can you hear us? Right, and that caller-
Sorry,
that-
listen, like I said, technicals, man. Appreciate the caller calling through. If you can call back, try and call back again. Apologies about that. Right, so Delicate was saying she's backtracked now. And these comments I'm reading from Instagram. She's saying she was supporting her mother through hard times. Nikki. Hey, Nikki, man.
Hold on. What's her mother got to do with her?
What's her son? It's her son.
No, it's her
It's
son.
the mum's son.
I can
I can understand it, but that's a terrible
You
thing.
can understand what? That so the brother's guilty and you're supporting your mother.
Your mum. You
Okay.
can support your mum through something like that. You
What-
got to understand, a mother's ties are going to be very, very strong.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is you still can condemn the brother and support the mum. So what's that got to do with the price of bread? I don't understand.
No, you got to understand, when the conviction has come in, and initially there wasn't all this evidence against him, it was the speculation, so she was able to support. When it's all come in, you want to distance yourself, so you have to find an angle that's going to work for you, and saying I support my mum kind of works.
Alright, sorry. For all the listeners out there on Pulse, listen, when you hear what that means, it means that somebody's moonwalking back out the situation.
Moonwalking me, backtracking,
and
trying
right
to take
now,
back.
I've got to give Nisha a
Yeah.
because she was moonwalking.
I 100% agree.
What it sounds like is she was in support of her brother.
She
and
has
then,
to.
And then it came to light that this guy was guilty as charged.
Right.
And now she's trying to.
I know what I'm saying,
save
you have
her
to
right.
do that though.
But for me,
You have to.
I don't know.
Because initially,
listen. For me, hold on once again. We're all fathers here. We've all got kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can put ourselves in that situation.
100%.
You don't want to be there, but
Now, what I'm saying to you is, if any member of my family, if there's a charge against my family to say that that's happened to my child or my children, I'm not fully 100% backing it. I need to see exactly what transpires, all the evidence that comes to that.
well, initially you're going to back without
No,
the evidence.
I'm not.
Without the evidence.
No.
So there's no evidence. You're not backing your son.
I'm not. No, not my son, my family member. I'm not gonna condemn, and I'm not gonna back. I'm just gonna sit and wait and see.
Your sister
Yeah.
they said something about your sister that she's feeling the pain. You ain't got no evidence at this moment. You're not supporting. You're just gonna say, you know, it's just do your thing.
I'm waiting to see what comes to that.
Darren, I'm not having that.
I'm waiting.
No, I'm not having that.
Hold on,
So hold on.
sister.
So right now, so Darren's saying that he's going to avoid calls, yeah, because right now it's like, Darren, bro, I'm going through some stuff, man. Like,
You got support, bro.
can you come round and
children
can you come round and talk to me? What are you going to say?
What's
Once you say yes to go there,
Alright.
regardless of who you're talking about, you're talking about
You have to
an
support.
accused
Alright.
child rapist.
So hold on. What am I going to look in my child's face and tell them if I'm there, like, alright, arm round my sister and saying, yeah, it's alright, cool, and my child is saying to me, this has happened.
You lost me, bro.
So if the child is saying this has happened, because
Why are you using your child? You're losing me. Why are
Because
you
obviously
saying,
the rape has happened to
and
the
the
child.
accusation is about his sister with his children.
Yeah.
Oh, you just made it into a
you just took it some next level.
I was just talking about
very
just your
less.
sister being the child rapist. It doesn't have to be your child.
Oh,
You
my
took it-
bad, my
you
bad.
took
Oh,
it next
my
level,
bad,
bro.
my
You
bad,
took it
my bad.
next level.
Okay, so it's just any random child.
Yeah.
Oh, that's different. Okay.
Hold on, what's my man talking about?
That's different.
Hold on, let me take a couple comments. Right, so Clark has said, but you ain't cancelled R. Kelly and evidence against him. What has this got to do with anything?
Who's
Clark,
that addressed to?
I'm addressing that at the week. You know me, I'll still back R.
I
Kelly's
think
music, bro.
he's addressing that at the way because Dwayne still backs R. Kelly.
No, whoa.
No.
He said he's playing the music and he's dancing to the music. That's what you said.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
do Nicki
different.
right now.
That's different to backing him, bro. Man, ain't backing R. Kelly.
Oh, let me-
But man will
I
bang
got
out the
some.
music because I'm attached to the music. I'll separate the art from the man. It is what it is.
I feel like this conversation is going to go slightly there. But D, alright, you're back, alright, so you're saying you're not backing R. Kelly, but you're supporting his music.
We're going to adverts.
Oh man, we gotta go to the
We gotta go,
ads,
we
guys.
gotta go.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
You know when you're just warming up, you have to get started with it.
Alright, catch us back on the other side, ladies and gents. Grown-ass men in the building.
Hold on. Right, Miss Lovemore.
We're gonna come to you.
Right, Miss Lovemore, you just said, yeah, the mother must have known his traits,
Woo!
tendencies throughout the years. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Can we just hold this?
That's a madness. I'm holding on to that comment because I want to say that on air as well. That's right. We've been taking a few comments on Instagram while we've just been off air. So, Miss Lovemore, shout out to Miss Lovemore. Thank you for tuning in. She said something about the mother, and I'm just trying to find it now. Right, here it is. She said, the mother must have known his traits or tendencies throughout the years. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So my response to that was, that to me is almost like you are attempting to put some blame to the mother or something that she could have flagged or signaled. And my counter argument for that is that, listen, we've all done some crud throughout the years, some dark stuff that we may know.
Whoa, crud?
What do you mean, bro?
How crud?
So what, we're going to define crud? That's just madness, isn't it?
No. I've done nothing even remotely like
All right,
what's
cool.
in the
Everyone wants to be on air and brand new. I get it. I get it. That's
I'm
fine.
not being brand new, but I'm gonna be real with you. I'm near angelic.
Listen, right now, there is a Bible inside that will go up in flames because these guys are just chatting pure crap.
No, but
honestly,
no,
keep it
I
real,
don't want to
guys.
be. You know what it's great. It's not in the same world, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't want to be.
You can't be talking
I'm
about
in the same world.
man like R. Kelly and then talk about
Alright,
all
but hear what I'm saying.
yes.
No, but my point.
What crud have you done?
My point was,
The
it's
same
not.
blame as
Listen,
R.
this
Kelly.
is not about me right now, guys.
Okay.
This is not about me, right? But when I'm talking about you've done badness and all of that, no one at any point for the badness that you've done, whether it's at scale 1 or scale 10, 10 being child molestation and 1 being, I don't know, stealing a Freddo from the shop.
Yeah, look at muffins from the canteens.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to remember that. Yeah, but my thing is, no one at that point could really go to your parents and say they should have seen traits or stuff like that because it's not down to them.
No,
they
but
bring you up in a certain way.
It's slightly different. When you're
So you're blaming the parents
No,
too?
I'm not blaming the parents, but when you're kiddie fiddler, like there must be some kind of science that you're into kids.
Oh yeah, there must be. That's what you're saying. There must be.
I would assume.
So I'm not being funny. If there was, why are we not hearing about parents? So every parent's just dumb out there right now. Why are we not hearing about parents who like, no, you know what, cool, get this child away from me because this one right here, you see this one who talked back to me, he's going to be a child molester.
No, it's not going to be like that.
What kind of madness is that?
It's not as simplistic as that, Craig. You got to understand, a lot of parents, when things come up, yeah, they put their head in the sand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, even when like we say when your child's gay, and the dad will just pretend that his child's not gay, and he can see it, but he wants to pretend that it's not the case. Like so, for me, there must I don't know because I've never been the parent of a molester, but there must be some kind of science, surely.
So my thing is that if there is clear signs,
I'm not saying they're clear, but there must be
oh,
some kind of
I'm
science.
not being funny. If there are some kind of signs, why are we not then holding these parents accountable
All right, do you know
for
what?
the actions
Do you know what?
of their child?
I think I don't know if we intended for this discussion to go deep, but we're going to go deep in it. There's a huge issue. Do you know what? I was going to say in a certain in our community, but it's all communities where, listen, at the end of the day, hurt people. Yeah.
Yes.
So those people who have gone through certain things in their childhood tend to grow up and display those tendencies.
Yes.
As an adult.
Got you.
I think in say our community, I think there's a lot of parents who have turned a blind eye, and obviously I think that's totally wrong. What the positive from that now is our generation have been like, no, well, we're not going to do that. We can see the trauma that causes, and as parents, we're going to ensure that we're vigilant to any of those kind of things happening.
I see.
You know what I mean?
All right.
why the previous generation and past generations have done that as parents. I don't know, shame, embarrassment. You don't want to highlight that in your family. I don't know. I can't.
And you know what, D? I rate you. I didn't think we was gonna go here. We was keeping it light. Welcome, Pulse FM. This is what we're doing now. Right, fair enough. But you know what? The truth of the matter is, there have been too many women that I've known throughout my life who have had some sort of negative experience in terms of sexually with either a family member or a man that's been brought into their life by mother, a sister, or whatever. So whilst we want to say that it happens in all communities, fair enough. But in terms of what I can speak about and what I've maybe been exposed to in the sense of secondhand information, it's a problem because I don't know that many people. I don't know that many women, guys. It is what it is. Yeah, I don't know that many women. So for that to be, there's no moonwalking. Yeah, that will always be my stance. Yeah. So for me to hear from so many women to know that that's been the case in some way, shape, or form. There is an issue within our community that people are closing a blind eye to. So I guess it does go back to Miss Lovemore's point about there must have been traits, things, and I'm a little bit more open to that now once kind of Darren's gone in that direction, if you get me.
But I think, and this is not me trying to find any kind of justification for those parents who have turned a blind eye, but I think as a generation we are more aware, we're more self-aware of how we're treating our children and kind of the consequences of our actions on our children. Whereas back in the day, I don't think they were as aware as us. I'm not trying to justify that.
I don't think they wasn't aware. I think it's like I said. I think shame played a huge part of this.
True.
Yeah. And I think when you are shamed, and it makes you probably do things that you wouldn't do in a natural state. So I believe that a lot of shame has caused parents to do certain things that they wouldn't have done. I don't think that we are more aware than they were. I think that we are maybe a little more protective.
Yeah.
Because we've seen it, and you like saying to yourself, I don't want to go down that road. I don't want that to be a problem for my children. Yeah. So you kind of handle yourself in a different way
because we've seen the effects of the trauma that it causes.
Yes.
All right, listen, I've got to read out some of these comments here.
Let's go.
Listen, Instagram is going in. Shout out to Ashley Banks. I've got to read this one out. Right. Oh, sorry, for all the post listeners as well, if you want to get involved in the Instagram chat, it's grown_arse_men. Right.
Check out the socials.
I know the parent, this is Ashley Banks. I know the parent of a woman murderer, and she backed her son all the way. He ended up pleading guilty to both murders. Right, so with that being said, I have to look at two things. One, was the mother always aware that the son was going to plead guilty, yet backing her son in public? Because this goes again to exactly what you guys were just saying, that shame and all of these things, and we are taught in the black community to see things, don't say nothing, but no one tells you, don't let it affect you. You understand what I mean? And in reality, you can't help whether it's going to affect you or not because you're just exposed to it. You know what I'm saying? It's an involuntary emotion, and things just kind of go inside. It's like, I've seen over the years, listen, I don't beat up no one out here, but I've seen a lot of stuff, yeah? And it's one of them ones where it's like, you see this, you don't say nothing to nobody, not to him, to her, to whatever. And it's almost like, especially when it comes from elders, you just take it for gospel and you follow instruction.
Question.
Go for it.
Knowing what you know now.
Yeah.
Back then, obviously, not talking about being a child like 5 years and that, but being of good enough age where you know sense and you know right from wrong. Knowing what you know now, would you go back and
speak up?
And speak up.
What age are we speaking?
I'm talking from teenage years upwards, so like 16, 17.
Knowing what I know now, would I speak up? No, because a child has to be taught and has to know their place. I've done nothing wrong. It's the person who was telling me to be quiet that they've done something wrong. Okay. So if I could go back, I'd get their teaching to be different, so that they're teaching me different.
But hear what I'm saying though. Remember what I said. Knowing what you know now. Yeah. If you have that knowledge, at the time when you were told, shh, don't say nothing, keep your mouth shut. Would you change your?
I think it's difficult to answer that question when we don't know what he saw.
No, but he knows what he saw. What he saw.
No, because now you're trying to make it out like I'm talking about a specific situation.
No. But
I'm not trying to do that.
So I'm just asking you: would you change the way you approach things? Would you challenge the person who told you?
As a child?
As a teenager.
As a teenager, going to a young adult, because
you're
let's be real.
15, 16, I'm not going to talk or fire out business because that's just not within me. I don't, that's nature is not within me.
Okay.
However, being 16 or 17, I may challenge because I'm quite outspoken, so I may challenge, but privately. No, because you gotta still remember there is a certain level of respect for elders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but if you know elders are wrong.
So yeah, about to say, you got to understand, Craig, that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I will talk to that elder and say like, no, that's wrong. And what that would probably do is just kick that elder to not expose me to nothing.
Craig, we pause you.
Yeah, go on.
We're talking about a level of respect.
Man, don't pause me though. Nah, go on.
We're talking about a level of respect.
Mm.
But if a certain pop member, family, or whatever it is has done something, do they deserve that level of respect?
Exactly.
That's an interesting one. One that I need to take thought and really think about before I just answer. Because I just don't want to give out verbals. I want to have a little think about that. So listen, I'm going to come back to you in about a couple of minutes and I'm going to answer that question. Because, no, I hear what you're saying. There is the respect level, but you have to also look at damage that you can cause. So then it comes back to what is the situation? Because me challenging about something like, I don't know, stealing, and they show me like, I just stole this watch. Cool, I can have a conversation. We can go back and forth about that. However, if it's something that could potentially break up a family, yeah, that's a different type of conversation that we've got to have, because I've now got to know my place, and there are certain levels that you can go to, especially in regards to challenging. As a 16, 17-year-old, we're talking about an elder person. You know? Let me read out some comments. Sorry guys, you like me getting too involved. It's one of those
go on a tangent.
Right. E5 has said, the thing is, it wasn't just the parents who knew, a lot of people facilitated his actions. That's deep.
Who are we talking about?
We're talking about the brother, Nicki Minaj's brother.
Yeah. Hold on. Ashley Banks went, just if you remember the murderer scenario I just gave you about the mum who backed it. She said, no, she wasn't aware. He told her he didn't do it.
That's different.
Yeah, so that's different. I can't hold nothing.
Expect her. Yeah. I would expect her to back her son. It's her son.
Yeah, I can't.
And if there's no evidence against him, then you would expect them to back their son. But when the evidence starts building and you start seeing the light, then you kind of
hold on. She's offered a bit more clarity. Listen to this.
We like context.
But to be honest, there were signs. Yeah, we spoke about signs before. Several situations. She didn't say one or two guys. She said several. Yeah, several situations that occurred from when he was a teen that were strong indicators he was a sociopath.
Right, so it's easy for us to be on the outside and see signs. When you're on the inside and you are the parent, it's a lot more difficult for you to see signs because you are blinded by your own love.
Yeah, but all right, cool. Whilst you're blinded by your own love, everybody knows right from wrong. Everybody has a basic level of sense. Yeah, and as a parent, we all know your child is going to be totally different out on the streets in comparison to what they're like at home. Yeah, I know my children growing up are going to act differently when they're with their friends.
Yeah.
As opposed to when they're with me. So I'm not saying she shouldn't have backed him, but especially if there's indicating and there's been signs previously, you've got to say to yourself, well, I need to really question what's going on here.
All right. So the question is, what could everyone says about several indicators. The mum could have been aware, and maybe not. If I'm not being funny, if 5 people come up to me and tell me that my son's a thief, yeah, and he says I'm not a thief, then gets caught for thieving, I'm not backing you like them 5 times didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Let's just keep it real.
Exactly.
So my thing is, there were several times, she said, several incidents that occurred. So my thing is that the mother shouldn't have gone gung-ho with that type of support for the accusation.
But what kind of incidents can be likened to
murder?
What kind of incidents?
Attempted murder? Because if you got done for GBH 5 times and then someone said, raped, murdered someone, I'm going to be like, oh my God. I'll be like, man did that, yeah?
That kind of
it's a different reaction.
You just don't back. I'm My son can't have GBH charges 5 times and then me back him on a murder.
That's my point.
I'm probably not going to.
Parents generally would back there because they'll say is yes, he might put his hand on bust someone's head, but he's not a killer.
You know what I'm saying more as well, because you said you open up this conversation in a different direction. This is not planned, right? So hold on. Ashley Banks has said sociopaths are good liars. Yeah.
Exactly.
Listen, you sound experienced, which is fine. That's fine. Listen, it's fine. It's okay. Right. Tracy Angel. So that's Tracy Angel. She said, "What are the indicators?"
That's what I'm saying.
Curiosity or legible? What's that saying? Legible call. Don't know if I've said that right.
No.
Anyway. Miss Lovemore has said, so knowing and seeing, do you just sit back until they pursue their actions? Could it have been prevented? It could have been. No, she's saying it could have been prevented. How?
Wait, stop, Paul.
How? I don't agree with that.
Hold on. Are we talking about the killing fiddler or the murder? What are we talking about here?
We're talking
Ashley Banks' scenario.
Ashley Banks scenario. Talking about the murderer.
Can you prevent someone doing them things that?
Of course you can. What's wrong with you, lot? Of course you can.
Bro, that's you, fam.
Bro, if I see you acting deranged and
this is my character.
Hold on.
It happens often. I've seen it. Yeah, carry on.
Acting deranged. No, you don't act deranged now. There's nothing in you that should that indicates.
But she's saying there was indicators that man was a sociopath.
There's nothing there's nothing that indicates that you are a sociopath.
Because right, that's what I'm saying to you. If I am,
no. Listen, as much as they're good liars, there are always indicators that can show you, right, this person is not.
All there.
Yeah, it's not all there, and not even not all there, but they're not on the right playing field. They're showing signs that they can run madness.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you stop a man like that?
Then you talk to the people around him. If you are the person around him, then you've got to get them help.
Big man, you just said man is not on the same playing field.
Yeah, but you've got to get them professional help. You
You're not going to be open to that.
Huh?
They're not going to be open to professional help.
But bro, you
can't
just sit down and do nothing about
it. Yeah, I
it.
agree with Darren on that.
You can't.
But that's not what we're discussing. We're discussing stopping somebody doing something.
Yeah, but you've got to take preventive measures, is what she's saying.
You can do that, but that's not necessarily going to stop a man.
Yeah, but we're not saying that the preventive measures.
He might murder you.
Okay, but I'm not saying to you. He ain't murdering me.
It's too much laughter. We can go back now.
I'm killing you, yeah?
No, it's not. But listen, what I'm saying is the preventive measures. I'm not necessarily going to say it's going to kind of stop him from doing what he's doing. But at least I can say,
you know what?
I can respect
every
action.
I can respect that.
I agree. I actually agree with Darren.
I can respect that, but that's not what was said. But I can respect that.
All right, hold on. Let me read out a couple of comments. Right. Shout out to Kiri Parker on Facebook. Yeah, with the crispy vision. If you're not taught when you're younger how you are meant to know how you are meant to know, kids are like sponges. Depending on what you feed into the child, there will only be 2 outcomes, depending on how you speak and treat your children.
I totally agree with that.
So
I don't know 2 outcomes, but
I didn't understand what she meant by the 2 outcomes. But yeah,
I agree that
kids are sponges, 100%, and you don't know how that's going to be, how that's going to kind of manifest.
And that's what it is with a parent. You got to control
their
flow. You don't know whether it's right or wrong.
Listen, there's a couple more comments I want to read.
I was looking up that. He's worrying me, bro.
What we say on the ads?
No, we're calling on the ads. I just want to read out the phone number for our listeners.
Yeah, go on.
If anyone wants to call in, please call 07951 497 878.
Alright,
no. Hold on.
I thought man was looking at a spider or something.
Hold on 1 second. I'm not gonna lie. If I was out there and I was listening and you just said that, I'd be like, I'm not following him. Hey, people, close listeners. If you want to get involved in the conversation, if you want to give your opinion, please get in contact. 07951 497 878. I'm going to say it again for the slow people out there. 07951 497 878. Rates.
Or you can join us on Instagram Live.
What?
Which is grown_men.
Alright, listen, let me read out a couple comments from Instagram. E5A has said, I think it's about, you might feel like you failed as a parent if you admit your child is something that is morally wrong.
And
so we're talking about, obviously, the murder situation.
It's hard to digest them kind of things.
So Ashley Banks has come back and said, well, he was tried for attempted murder.
Forget it.
And it was a unanimous jury decision of not guilty. So this is previously.
Yeah,
listen, I want to say something to Ashley Banks as well. For one, we're talking a lot about a murderer right here, and I don't want to get into too many specifics because No, I'm not in trouble. You might be in trouble because you know a lot about the situation. So what I'm not trying to say, without the jest, just be careful about the information that you indulge for your own safety, because we're just talking this stuff on the radio and we can't help you outside of that.
He's inside, he's incarcerated.
But his friends, who I imagine are murderer friends, may be out. He's going to get a visitor from someone.
It's not funny still, yeah. I understand.
But hear what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying it in jest, but I'm being real. Just be careful about the information that you do indulge. Right? But I'm going to continue to read out the comments that you posted because I got to do that.
Murderer friends.
Right. But when he was rearrested for murder of another lady, the mum still defended his innocence.
I'm not backing
mum.
Too many signs. There's
I'm
too
not
many
backing
signs.
that. If you got done for attempted murder and then you get pulled up on a murder charge, forget it.
Too many signs.
But hey, what Delicate said, yeah, most murderers are not premeditated. So my thing, I'm going to use Rakes here, because Rakes is one to fly off the handle, yeah, just in case you didn't know. He can't do it now because I've just exposed him. So now, what are you going to do? Sip that drink, Brendan, it's cool. Yeah? But, so my thing, I need to know, is that a fact? Because...
I think it is. I think I've read that before.
Serious?
Yeah.
So, all these things that we're saying about signs then, is not for the majority.
No, but the signs we was talking about, them kiddie things, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we went all the way left.
I forgot.
So we went left and right.
Yeah. We come round, and I don't want to mix kiddie fiddlers with murderers. Who wants to do that? Anyway,
I just don't like it.
Right, Tracy Angel 1.
Kiddie fiddlers, I find it very.
Do you think that's? Should I just
offensive.
child rape?
I think so too. Wait, no, it's not even offensive. I just find it all uneasy because I don't know. No.
It's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable words.
I agree.
Child rapist.
I think we just need to let the listeners know. This is grown ups. If this is the first time listening to us,
It's very straight talking.
we often tackle offensive topics, and we don't mean to offend anybody out there, but we just like to discuss.
And we're not used to being on
And keep it real as well. You know what I'm saying? It's before watershed. But anyway, right. So Tracy Angel 1 has said, if a parent allows a child that's in the wrong, then you know the child's future. Okay, so I think she's trying to say about the parent overlooking, all of the accusations that we were talking before, and if you still continue to back them, what incentive has that child or this grown person, by the sounds of it, got to change?
Boy, I'll be real. It might sound like a carte blanche statement, but I think as a parent, you know your child. You know if your child is wrong or not. You do. Deep down, you know.
All right. So Miss Lovemore, go on.
I think that, I don't know, it's difficult for me to answer that, because I don't believe my children are wrong.
I don't know, if you've got
a wrong as a child,
This is it.
would you accept? It's almost like when your child's ugly. Do you accept your child's ugly?
No, it's not.
It is, bro. I don't think people will accept things like that.
No, this is.
Now, I've learned to appreciate, a child, and I'm sorry, this might sound a bit left, but before 3 years old, don't judge no children no more, yeah? Serious, because there are some ugly ones before 3, but they have got to mature into their looks, like their eyes are all jacked up, their nose is all over the place, and sometimes they settle down.
The term jacked up on kids.
No, serious, this one, I've noticed it before, because I thought a kid was ugly, and then I saw him like 3 or 4 years later, I was like, what a beautiful child. I just didn't give him a chance. That's what it was. Serious.
You are a bit impatient though.
But you got to keep it real. Like, sometimes kids are just ugly and you have to accept that is what it is. So we're not going to pretend.
There are no ugly children.
Alright, so
if you think your child's handsome and someone says your child's cute, know that your child's ugly, yeah? I'm just telling you, because cute is one of them words you could just hide behind. Oh, so cute. This time your face is hanging off the side.
You men are terrible, you know that.
Pugs get called cute and pugs are not good looking. Let's keep it honest.
Wow. A pug, really?
You know what I'm saying? Kiri Parker said all babies look like aliens from when they're first born. That's come from Facebook, man. Listen,
to be fair, I'm not disagreeing with that.
See, I'm just saying the things that people really think, but may find a little bit uncomfortable to say. This is just real. Right, so Clark has said, hold on, have I got time? Because I'm being very conscious now, Rakes, because I normally fly too far ahead, okay? Right, so whether your child is wrong or not, this is from Clark London. Whether your child is wrong or not, you can't support them, in my opinion. The world is against them. Hold on, you can't support them. The world is against them, and this is when they need you the most.
Whether your child is wrong or not.
You're going to have to clarify what you mean. Because it sounds like what you're saying. It sounds like what
he said. He just clarified. He put the error in. You can't not support them. This is when they need you the most.
No.
This is your time to shine.
If my child has done wrong and I know they have done wrong, I cannot support. I'm sorry.
All right,
I can't support you.
Go on.
In what context would you?
In what
exactly.
context do you mean support?
Alright, well, let's just use the two that we have.
because my thing is, I may be there in some terms of support for them, but I'm not necessarily backing them or
Basically,
or saying they're innocent.
Okay,
I'm sending your ass to prison.
What? Let me.
But I'm still gonna support you.
Let me tell you something. I'm not supporting a child fiddler or a murderer. Like, how do you support that? You can't support them behaviours. At the end of the day, if you're a parent and you're giving support for your child who is a murderer, a killer, don't get me wrong, if he's gone out his way and he's killed someone in self-defense, slightly different. But if your child has left his yard to kill a man, I can't support that. I'm sorry.
Right, but listen,
if your child is a fiddler, I cannot support that.
But we've got to put this all again back into the context of Ashley Banks, and I'm going to leave that alone after that. But my thing is, if your child comes and says that it can be proven that it was self-defense, yet he's been tried for murder 5 times, don't think I'm supporting that. I'm sorry, because I just don't believe at that stage that you had to murder that person. I don't believe it. But not with 5 attempted murders on your case already. I'm sorry. Yeah, Darren, I know you're the voice of reason. This is what you do. It's fine.
I am the voice of reason.
Right,
Because then it depends on that specific case, no? It depends on that specific case. If it's proven that it's self-defense, then it's proven that it's self-defense. It's proven.
Yeah, I'm with Darren on this one.
It's proven.
So you're backing all the way.
So
hold
I'm
on.
Darren in the fact that
So
if
my
it's
thing is, as a
proven,
parent, I would, in this situation, I would be the moonwalking parent, because I don't believe you until they find you
Alright.
innocent.
I'll tell you what.
I'm sorry.
What I would be very, very, very annoyed and very upset that you managed to get yourself in this situation.
How can you say that for self-defense?
Because after the 5 times,
5 times.
you should be able to kind of identify where there's trouble.
Nah,
Get away.
come on.
No,
Get away.
you know you're talking rubbish, bro.
No.
Take it back. Take it back.
No, I'm not going to. No, there's no
People, you see Darren.
No.
There is no confidence in what he just said.
No.
Darren, you know you're wrong on this one, and you're holding fire, bro.
People, we got some ads coming in.
Let's get to the ads.
We'll be back in 5.
Pulse FM.
Stay locked in, man.
I took your bad ass, bro. He knows
You
this.
know when a man wants to say, listen, D, I've been there. You know that I'm there bare times. I've said
Darren,
that, I want to hold on to it.
No, let's not.
I said, no.
I'm not doing it.
No, let the pride go, man.
Bro, we can talk for 2 hours. I'm not
And listen, shout out to E5, shout out to Delica, Ashley Banks and Clark. I'm going to read your comments out when we come back on air, because these men say that I just run ahead. Instagram, do you not miss the music? Because obviously we're here now, innit? We're here, we've got ads playing. My thing right now would be nice to like if we was vibing to a bit of music. Do you not miss the music or do you not care? I don't know.
Grown ass men. We're back.
Right, we're back live, yeah? Well, can I jump straight into it? Shall I wait for the music to fade out or something? What are you saying, Riggs?
Fade to black.
Here we go. Right, so listen, there was a few comments that we was reading before. So listen, just for those who are just tuning in, or radio listeners who are just kind of locked in, we've been speaking about Nicki Minaj and her convicted child rapist brother, her support for him, and the fact that she has now decided to withdraw that support and just say that it was for her mother. We then somehow switched on. There was a comment that came through and we was talking about the parent support of a child rapist or for anyone who's done wrong. And we heard about a murderer who had apparently 6 or 7 incidents beforehand where the mother, and he was found not guilty, the mother had shown very outspoken support and now he's gone down for murder. And the mum was obviously still supportive. Right, so hold on, a couple more, and we will move on because I need to. There's definitely a lot we need to get to. What time is it anyway? But listen, it doesn't matter what time it is. 8. It doesn't matter. Right. Right. So Delicate has said, at Clark London, who obviously said before that this is the time that you need to show the support.
I'm not gonna lie.
This is the time that you need to show support to your child.
I'm not supporting if you're wrong.
I disagree with that, but let's see where this kind of goes. He says you don't have to support them. That's enabling your child. You can be there for them to get them through their sentence, i.e. money to buy a toothpaste, but I will not support that child. Delica, I don't know if I can like this comment, but I'm fully behind it. E5A has said, a child will always look to you as a parent for the last say. So Clark London has said, that's support at Delica. I guess he's got a point.
I think what he's trying to say is you don't have to disown your child, innit?
Yeah.
I think, and this is what I'm saying.
I'm not giving
I will send you. I was gonna say something. I'll send you to prison, but I'll come and visit you and I'll give you more support and blah blah blah.
But listen, he has
If
some
my
valid points. I'm gonna read that out.
If my child is touch with, I ain't even trying to be that fiddling kids, but I'm not visiting you. You are done at it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No, okay, but but if we go back to the murder thing, yeah. Your son murdered someone.
In self-defense.
It wasn't self-defense.
Well, you just went out and then killed.
Whatever. Not a reason that you agree with.
Previous charges.
Yeah. Not a reason that you agree with. Are you not visiting?
Okay, talk to me about all the reasoning makes a huge difference.
Right, and I'm saying you don't. Whatever the reason is, you don't. You in your head that doesn't make sense as to why he made that action. Yeah, but and this is what I was saying about there's a difference between supporting him and kind of disowning him, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Because my son, you know, as much as I say I couldn't stand by him doing such a thing, I could never just turn my back on him. So although I'm not backing him to the point where I'm saying he's innocent and you know he's not that guy and blah blah blah, I've got to put all of that to the left. But at the same time, could I turn my back on him and
100% agree.
I couldn't do it.
I'm sorry. Look how many people come out of prison reformed characters.
I would like to understand what you're saying. Like I said, with a murder, I know it sounds terrible, but I can probably try to give you some level of support, just to come maybe with it, but not charging, bro.
No, but everyone always says people that end up doing
I can't
them kind
I'm
of.
not seeing you. I'm not visiting
them kind of
nothing.
paedophilia things. Yeah. There is an underlying issue there. Yeah.
Paedophilia, I think I'm
out, bro.
No, right. But if your children end up doing that, do you not think something's gone wrong in your parenting?
Well,
no,
that's a mental issue, bro.
Something's gone wrong in your parenting.
No, I don't think so.
And secondly, that person needs help.
No, I think you've got a mental issue.
Right. So your child has a mental issue, and you disown them.
I can't support them out.
Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is I'm out. I'm not coming to see
listen,
you.
there's a couple of questions I want to ask, but a few of the Instagram followers are a bit upset with the angle and everything that we're giving them. I'm sorry, but what it is that the space that we're in, there is and the way in which we're situated, Darren's just going to mess it up, but you just cut him out. There's no way that I can kind of put it so that everyone's in. So Rich, you just sound like a ghost. Basically,
but I'm cool with not.
Yeah, and I'm not favouring the Facebook followers. It's just that we use a different device. Yeah.
Basically,
I'm done explaining myself.
Craig and Lipton are the vain ones, and me and Rich don't care about what we see us. It's cool. You can hear us. We're good.
I'm good looking at that, but I'm not.
Listen, I want to go to the point that Clark made, and listen, I want to move on from this topic as well because I do. There's a couple of other things that we want to touch on.